And that might, I don't know about you, but all week long, that's been messing with my mind. That's been blowing my mind. Because we value, we treasure these things. We treasure the gifts and the talents and the abilities that we've received from the Lord. And God says there will come a time when they will end. And what will remain is love. We jump down there to the 13th verse. 6 times in the New Testament, the same writer will use this connection of faith, hope, and love. And here Paul in the 13th verse says, faith, hope, and love abide, or in some translations, remain. These 3 things. Of all things in the world, these 3 things remain. And the greatest of them is love. I started thinking about that. I said, okay, now faith, I can look very, very, very fast, very quickly. I can grab onto Hebrews chapter 11. Faith is the evidence of things not seen. And sometimes we walk away from that thinking that faith then is this blind faith. Oh, it's just going to happen. Things are just going to happen somewhere, some way down the road. But the faith that God is talking about is a conviction. He says, this is what remains. Faith is number 1. He says, and it's this deep conviction. You don't know how it's going to happen, but you have faith. You know that God is going to do it. And brothers and sisters, we need some faith this morning. Yes. We need some faith when that boss comes into our job and tells us that all is not well and things are falling apart and we don't know how long we're going to be able to keep you on. You need some faith to believe, to have some conviction that God is able to do it. When the doctor walks in the room and says, this is the diagnosis and this is how it's going to look in 6 months and a year from now, you need some faith to say, God, I know you're able. Amen. When your family, when your children are turned against you, they've gone astray, they've lost their mind, they're out there in the world somewhere, you need some faith that God says, I'm going to bring them back home in my time, in my season. Yeah. Right. When your loved ones have betrayed you and walked away, you need some faith this morning that educates your feet, that informs your mind, that steadies your heart, that calms your hand in the midst of troubled times. You need faith. But it said the greatest in your depth of need for faith is love.